Hey everybody, I am excited and let me show you why. Earlier today I was able, through a little bit of wheeling and dealing, to pick up this blister pack of 6 Battlebond booster packs. And I'm really excited to open this up because I've been playing Magic. It's a weird story. I first started playing Magic over 20 years ago, and I did not play very much at all. I enjoyed collecting some of the cards. I didn't really know many people who played, and I only had 1 or 2 games before I stopped playing for over 20 years. And so about 9 months ago, I rekindled my interest in Magic, and since then the torch has been burning quite brightly. And since my reactivation of interest, I'd have to say Battlebond is probably my favorite set for openings. I remember when the set came out, I was lucky enough to buy a booster box of it, and I had a ball going home and waiting for the kids to go to bed, and then I had my 4 beers lined up and opened the box, and it was great. I had a great time. I did open it, though, not as it was meant to be played. And that's important to understand, that Battlebond is actually a set that's meant to be, it's one of kind of like the unsets. This is meant to be specifically for Two-Headed Giant entertainment. You know, there previous sets that did similar things were like Conspiracy, where it's really meant to be played all in its own, and it's really meant to be drafted. Now, I do not draft currently. I may talk later on about how that may change. I'm starting to get interested in possibly drafting. But really, my Magic background since 9 months ago to current date, it has been Commander. And if you know anything about this set, you probably know that they're calling this like the Commander Masters Edition, the Commander Masters set. And there are a lot of great Masters cards in here, don't get me wrong, but there's other cool stuff about it too. I like really everything about this set. I even like the packaging. I know a lot of people were upset that Wizards changed the packs, and they are a lot more difficult to open. They require a little bit more pressure, but I actually like that. You got to tug a little bit at the sides. There is a pull tab, but like I said in the previous video, I wouldn't do that pull tab because, I'll be honest, I end up damaging more cards that way than just kind of like struggling and, you know, letting your fingers tug a little bit at the sides to finally crack that that edge open. I also like here I'd say like the mascots that these two guys, or whatever they are the mascots for the set. We have here Mixel, that's what I call him because that's the only hard name I'll ever probably memorize again. So he's going to be Mixel. And then we have here the Harry Potter troll. The horrible CGI from that movie is well represented here, I think. I do love if you were able to get a booster box. They have a fun little, I don't know if Wizards has done something like it. I really enjoyed it, and I need to see if they've done anything like it before. They had a nice little, it was like a script that these two had talk to you, the player, back and forth, and you had here like a series of monosyllabic, kind of like Grimlock talking to you, and then you had here the more intelligent telling you kind of the rules of the game and how it's meant to be played, and you know, really here it was basically Hulk smash mentality. So I thought that was kind of cute, and I enjoyed it. So here's what I'm looking forward to in this video. I do want to see what's inside of here. I'd love to see if we have some of those crazy foils that this set has inside of it. I wouldn't mind a foil doubling season at all. But I'm also interested to talk to you a little bit along the way. So let's get started. This will take me just a minute to get inside this box. While I do, though, I do want to go back and talk about the current value of Battlebond because, you know, I had such a good time opening my booster box that I kind of, I don't know, maybe a month ago, I started thinking, well, should I buy another booster box? Is that something I really want to do? And my local game store, I noticed recently, they had another booster box in stock. And when I asked about it, the price was no longer what I had paid. And I remember when it came out, I don't know if this is tacky or not, but I paid, with tax, I paid $88 for the booster box. They are no longer $88. The game store told me it was like $140, and that was without tax. And I thought, yeah, that's not happening. And I thought to myself, that's not going to sell. I mean, there's been a set release since Battlebond came out. We had M19 come, and it's already kind of gone, but M19 we'll talk more about later, maybe another video. But I thought there's no way they're going to be able to sell these packs, much less the whole case. And I'd say a week later, I went back, and it was gone. They had replaced it, oddly enough, with a case of M25, so that's still there, actually. I don't think that's even opened since it's arrived. But Battlebond is gone. I don't think they sold the packs individually. I'm pretty sure somebody came in and scooped up the whole case. So basically what I'm saying, long story short, if you're able to find these packs for a good value, I'd say anything under $4, I would hop on it because there's some great cards. I also want to talk about the low expectations. I remember when they announced Battlebond, people were poo-pooing all over it. People were saying that this is going to be a garbage fire, and I kind of bought into that hype because there were some sources that, you know, YouTube personalities that I kind of enjoyed and still enjoy, but, you know, their opinion wasn't too optimistic on the set. And I think this set surprised a lot of people, and I was surprised as well. So I hope we have some cards in here that show that this is a set that has some good surprises inside for it. Now, one thing you can see here, if I can find it, there is a pull tab. Oh, it's right here, actually. There is a pull tab, but if you notice, as you pull down, it kind of wants to tug at the corners. So what I like to do better is just kind of grab the edge. And usually if you do it in two different places, it comes undone. I mean, it'll give. The other thing they did differently here is they have changed the organization of how they sort the pack. They no longer have the rares in the back. I guess that's the only criticism I have about this set. I'm not actually a fan of the new organization of it. And I'm not going to follow the organization of it. I have my own special way of doing Battlebond packs that we're going to do now. We have the top card is the token card. And then we have our land, and underneath the land will be the foil. Let's see if well, not a foil, but it should be the rare. I hope it's a foil. We have one rare. Let's see if we have two rares to see if it's one of those legendary commanders. Nope. So we're just going to take these and put them aside. And we'll go straight to the uncommons here. We've got Veteran Explorer, which is a great card. I actually like this card. I have it in one of my commander decks that one day I may do a video about the different commander decks I do. It's great for land fetch. It's also kind of a group hug mechanic. Loyal Pegasus flying. Loyal Pegasus can't attack or block alone. Not as much a fan, but it's only a 1-drop, so that may be worth it for a 2/1 flying. And then we have Inner Demon, enchantment or enchant creature, gets +2/+2, has flying, and is a demon in addition to its other type. When Inner Demon enters the battlefield, all non-demon creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. I've never really looked at this card very hard, but I can see this would be great in a demon tribal to be able to just neg 2, especially if you bounce it. That would be pretty nice. And we have, of course, our uncommons here, which we'll look at quickly. My goodness, how many times are they going to reprint this back to back? This has been reprinted. I want to say this has been reprinted 3 times in a row. That can't be right. We've got Ixalan, Rivals of Ixalan, and then we've got this. How is that? Okay. But you know what? Some of you may be not surprised that Wizards sometimes makes questionable decisions. Let's see our other. Some of the artwork here, I'll admit, is hit and miss. I'm not a fan of all the artwork style. Like this artwork, I know it's a reprint, but some of the artwork's kind of cartoonish, I feel. We've got here just a few of the commons we'll go through. Peace Strider. I'm a fan of this card. I do like the bounce dynamic. You have the potential to bounce there as far as just the easy life gain. I can't remember. It's the there's kind of like a twin to this that actually does damage when it enters instead of gaining life. And of course we got our token here. All right, let's see what our rare will be. All right, Diabolic Intent. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a card, and then put that card into your hand. Then shuffle your library. I don't have this card. That's a nice fetch card. I used to have a zombie deck that would be great in because, I mean, zombies, you could sacrifice a zombie all day. And if you've got the cards laid right, you can sacrifice a zombie and do damage to a player. So that, I will find a purpose for that somewhere. Let's go into pack 2. So some of you may be Commander fans out there. Some of you may be more of the standard modern format fans. I think you hear me tugging away at the sides. Got it. I currently just play Commander, but I'm starting to be a little more interested in exploring draft. And really, I didn't understand draft until, of course, you ask people who draft and they can explain it to you. I remember when this set came out, because it was meant to be a draft set, that's really what put draft on my radar. And so I really am ready, I think, soon to participate in a draft at my local gaming store. Here's the deal, and we'll get back to these soon, but the reason why I'm all about Commander when I reactivated earlier this year, everyone I talked to said, if you want to have fun with Magic, go Commander. If you want to have fun, go Commander. Play Commander if you want to have fun. I mean, it was ridiculous how the same advice kept happening. And so I thought, well, since I keep hearing it, it must be good advice, so I'm going to go ahead and listen to it. And so really I invested my time and my energy into just Commander format, right? You build your first deck, which is a lot of fun. We have here Crowd Goes Wild. I actually like this card, but it's not as good as I want it to be. Boldweir Intimidator, which I actually like this mechanic as far as this goes off of Warriors. This set is heavy Warrior themed, and I'll get back to a Commander that I'd love to build from this set that's going to be a Warrior tribal Commander. But this is a cool card that would probably need to go into it. If I can build it. An Azra Oddsmaker. And here we have our uncommons. Anyway, to get back to the story. So I invested all my time and all the money I had at the time into Commander format. I got my boxes. I got, my 100 card selection. I got my tokens and got my counters and die and stuff. And, some of you may have a lot more money to spend in Magic. I actually don't have that much to spend in Magic. This has to be a hobby for me, and this really can't be a lifestyle. So one thing that I'm finding more and more is that I'll have a Commander deck, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I've got, my Commander decks will be, $150, $200. That's a lot of money to me to put into a deck of 100 cards. And so I'm thinking, that should be, for $150, $200, this should be a somewhat competitive deck. And maybe I'm just not building it right, but what I find is there are some people who have some ridiculous expensive cards that they're able to put in their Commander decks and just go to town. I mean, just destroy whatever synergies I'm trying to fire off or whatever. And I mean, that's fine. If people have money to spend, they spend it on what they want to. But draft, one thing I'm interested in is seeing how cool it would be for everyone basically to have a $15 deck. You pay your $15 where I would go, and you get to draft and build your deck. And sure, maybe you have some lucky pools. Maybe you have kind of, you're not making the synergies happen that you really are looking to happen. But the bottom line is you're $15 in. So is everyone else at the table. And I really like that idea of strategy over pocketbook. And I'm not saying that pocketbook is everything. I mean, if you have a $2,000 deck, you still have to know how to play it. And I'll be honest, a lot of these really expensive decks, I don't really know the mechanic or how to do the mechanic that the deck is actually performing. So that's one reason I'm kind of trying to explore other avenues of enjoying Magic. I'll shut up here and let's look at our rare. Oh, good. Mind's Eye. This is a great card. If you're a blue player, this will give you, well, if you're any player, I mean, it's an artifact. You can put it in anything, but I know that blue loves card draw. Really, any deck loves card draw. I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, this is good in any deck. I mean, it's artifact. You can pay 1 mana whenever an opponent draws a card, and then you get to draw a card. Most turns you're going to have some untapped mana, possibilities. So this has been one that I'm happy to get another copy of, and I'm going to put that in some more Commander decks I have. So 2 packs. I know it's crazy we've only opened 2 so far. I'm going to speed it up. Of the 2 packs so far, I've enjoyed both the rares. Let's see what else we can get. Let's try the pull tab and see how that goes. Actually, that wasn't bad. I still like tugging the edges better. I'm still going to keep doing that. Got our warrior token, then we'll take a peek here. Okay, put that aside. Some of you may know from just the power value there what we have, but I'm not that familiar with it. Got here, this was almost in my soldier command deck, but he didn't make the final cut. We've got here his partner, Blaring Captain. And then we've got here Pulse of Marasa. This one I'm not familiar with. Let's see. Return target creature or land card from the graveyard to its owner hand. You gain 6 life. That's not bad. I would like that for a land card especially. And then we've got here some uncommons that we'll go quickly through. Move those up. Sorry, guys. That's a kind of terrifying artwork. I keep thinking of Kill Bill whenever I see that. Alright, those are our commons out of the way. And give me just a moment, we'll see what our foil, or excuse me, I hope it's a foil, but what our rare will be from this. We have here. Well, alright, hey, that is a good pull. Arena Rector has gone down a little bit in value, but when this set came out, this was the card everyone was talking about for a couple reasons. One reason because the artwork here, boy, believe it or not, politics are everywhere, right? Including in the world of Magic the Gathering. I don't play Magic to talk about politics. I really don't. But I think some of you watching know that people were both losing their minds supporting and losing their minds bashing the choice of age modification and also the orange hair here. But the bottom line is this is a good card. This lets you fetch Planeswalkers, and also the money is still there on it. It's not as high as it was, but I will take it, and I am happy for that. So 3 out of 3 so far hits, I would say. I like all 3. Let's take I want to do one thing before we get to our last 3. Now, I have here 2 different cards, right? And this is our Battlebond card. This is our M19. Here's what I don't understand, okay? Battlebond, the card stock, is better than it was in Ixalan, Rivals of Ixalan, Hour of Devastation, and before for quite a while. I mean, it's not great, but it's an improvement from what was. I don't understand when M19 came out. This is a step back, because I know you can't really feel it, but I promise you I'm not lying. This is a noticeably flimsier in the cardstock quality than our Battlebond card here. I also think that the, I guess the finish is a little shinier, I think. It's pretty subjective, but I find the finish to be shinier. And just the texture feels better on the card. It feels a little glossier. Yeah, it feels glossier than it does on M19. This is just not as glossy. Now, I'm not sure. I think I remember hearing that they went to Japan for printing these. If you didn't do that, Wizards, with M19, go back to Japan. Let them print your cards. Pay them what they want. It's Japan. They're good people, and they know how to print the cards. If this is printed from Japan, I'm not really sure what happened, Wizards. You may want to get your refund a bit because they've backslidden from what they did. Okay, that's my rant on cardstock. I don't understand how they could backslide when they got it so much better than it was. I remember people were excited that when Battlebond came out, it seemed like people were excited, hey, they finally fixed the card quality. And M19, I'm not impressed with it. Alright, here we have pack 3. Now, like I said, this is a set heavy with warrior tribal, I think. And there's one commander, I have the card I was able to pull, and it is going to be Najeela the Blade Blossom. And I'm excited to build a commander deck with Najeela. I had a soldier tribal with, who was it? Oh, it was Nahiri the Lithomancer as my commander, so it was a mono plains, mono white. And I was so excited to play it. In the first game I played this mono white soldier tribal with Nahiri as my commander. I played it against Najila the Blade Blossom, and I was slaughtered. I mean, it was just devastating. My opponent, he was a great guy too, so it was still a fun game to play. You know, there's sometimes where you're getting slaughtered, and the person you're playing against, it's not enjoyable to be slaughtered. But then there's sometimes you have opponents that they're just fun to play with, and you don't really mind just being not decimated. It was worse. It was worse than 10% slaughter. It was a complete slaughter. So just obliterated, devastated, to where we'll hopefully see soon some Hour of Devastation pack openings. But he just took me out. I'd say in about 5 turns. He had, my goodness, he had 40 warrior tokens on the field with Najila's command ability. So after I built I'm just too tired to redesign the deck right now, but I would like to get rid of my Nahiri deck and reformat it as a Najila for the commander. And that'll happen someday when I'm not so tired. Let's see here what we got. Okay, we have a foil. It's not a rare foil or anything. And then I tell you what, we'll just be surprised with the rest. I'm going to just scoot those aside. Let's do our commons. I do love, boy, if you can see that artwork. For a common card, that to me is the way a zombie card should look. I mean, look at that. The bird is pecking out his eyeball, and he does not care at all. I love that artwork. That's not a bad artwork either. I think a lot of people, maybe not a lot, I remember hearing some people complain that this was a goofy looking card, but I think it's pretty scary looking. It's also, the effect is not bad. Destroy a target tapped creature. The mana cost is a bit heavy, but hey, it's common, right? Elvish Visionary, it's a pretty card. Omen Speaker was from another set. I want to say it may have been Zendikar, but I may be wrong on that. But this is a reprint, I remember. And then this is probably my least favorite artwork from the set, unless I find something else. I don't like this artwork. I don't get it. I don't know if this is a perspective, like a visual illusion or something, but I mean, is this like a small person with a large mummy? Is this a giant mummy? Are they farther back? I don't like this card. This is a bit, it bothers me just because I can't figure out the perspective, right? It's an odd complaint, I know, but there it is. What we have here. Uncommon Peregrine Drake. Excuse me. I wonder how many Drake tribal players we have. Is that a thing? I know I have like one of the token counters. That's the cool like 3D. It's like about that big, and it's got the picture of the Drake on it, and it's foil, and you can spin the little dials. I can't remember the Ultra Pro Relics. That's what it is. Ultra Pro Relics. I got a foil Drake one. And I'm curious if anybody plays Drake Tribal, because if you do, that'd be kind of a neat counter to have, I bet. Enthralling Victor. This is another warrior card. Move it up here. When an Enthralling Victor enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature an opponent controls with power 2 or less until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. The power restriction there kind of makes that not appealing for me. If it didn't have that power restriction there, I'm sure it'd be a rare. A lot of people did not like this artwork. And it's funny because I remember it was both camps. Some people didn't like the artwork because they found the outfit too revealing. Some people didn't like the artwork because they didn't find her face attractive enough. So how do you like that? You have here a card maybe trying to satisfy to all audiences and failing in satisfying any audience. And I don't even know if it's a good card. Let's see. Pay 3 life, flip a coin. I don't even have to go for it. I'm not flipping any coins in Magic. I'm not rolling die. I'm just going to tap and not tap. We have here, oh good, a foil Pierce Strider. That's the card I was talking about earlier. Great, I have a foil of it. So this is going to be where it enters. Your opponent loses 3 life. If I can put that in a bounce deck, that might be worth having. Here we have, hey, oh man, I did not have this card and I wanted it. This is another card where a lot of people were upset by the artwork for the same reason. People didn't like her face. People thought her face was ugly. People didn't like that she wasn't wearing enough clothes. People said that she was being objectified. So, you know, Wizards, don't try to appeal to everyone because you will not succeed. There's nothing wrong with having some. I think it's a great card as far as the ability. I've wanted to do it. The ability is target player draws a card, then exiles a card from their hand. If a creature card is exiled this way, that player creates a token. That's a copy of that card. When Arcane Artisan leaves the battlefield, exile all all tokens created with it at the beginning of the next end step. So, yeah, I want to play this card. It will require a red die to remind me of what I've got to do at my next end step, but it's worth it. Great. So 4 out of 4, I am very happy with that little pack. I got the pack at GameStop, which most of you probably know GameStop sells games. There's no need in me telling you that, but GameStop has a pretty decent collectible card game section, and if you time it right, they have some great sales. I know that they recently had a buy one get one 50% off all of their collectible card games. Let's see what we have here. We've got our Token Spirit, and we've got let's see, cheat a little bit, see what we've got. We may have a foil rare there, so I'm going to just put a whole bunch aside. I don't want to spoil anything on that. We've got here Quest for the Gravelord, which the artwork on that's pretty awesome. I don't know, is that a mutant? What is that? It's like, it reminds me of Castlevania, the one where you fight that big construct of all the bodies that it's like it all balls up together. Anyway, moving on. Karamentra's Favor. When Karamentra's Favor enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchant creature has tap, add 1 mana of any color. I need some mana dorks. I just kind of learned the purpose of mana dorks. I didn't really get it until someone kind of showed me the benefit of having them. So this would be probably a pretty good aura to get a mana dork created. And we have here our commons. I missed one of the uncommons we'll go back for because I got so excited when I saw that shiny. There's another warrior. This is another, I pulled in another video, this race. I don't know what this race is, but they're, I'm curious if that's just a plane that they're from, a race of people. Millennial Gargoyle, and then we have Cow Prowler. Let's go here. We missed one of our uncommons. That was my fault in my excitement. Clean up a bit here. Alright, our uncommon will be that. Alright, and then let's see together what we have here. Magmatic Force. Okay, well that's not a bad foil rare. There could be better, but I'm not going to complain because the artwork on that's pretty nifty. And then we also have Corvath's Fury. For each player, choose friend or foe. Each friend discards all cards from their hand, then draws that many cards plus 1. Corvath's Fury deals damage to each foe equal to the number of cards in their hand. So I know some blue players. And you know, sometimes we're not fans of blue when we're playing against blue. That they like to get that hand size. That may be fun to play on them. I might enjoy seeing what that can do. And then let's just see that foil a little closer here. Yeah, any kind of fire foil, they do a pretty good job on that effect. I'm a fan of that artwork. And then at the beginning of each upkeep, Magmatic Force deals 3 damage to any target. That's actually not bad. I may have to find somewhere to put that because 3 damage every upkeep does add up. We have one more pack, and I'm very happy with these 6 packs. Let's hope our luck holds. If you're still watching, I really appreciate you staying with me through this whole thing. I know it's been long, but I take my time in this because, honestly, I'm spending my money, and I like to get the most enjoyment from my money, and I'm having a ball doing this. Now, I tell you, I would love to have a land in here because the land cycle in this set is great. The land cycle in here is great for Commander. They have the dual lands that are great anytime you have more than one opponent. And if you're playing Commander, you're probably mostly going to have more than one opponent. So the dual lands here usually don't have to come in tapped. And that is something that I like because I play a lot of multicolor Commanders. In fact, I love a 5-color Commander. There's a reason why. When I first started playing Commander, I had Dragon. And I just like the idea of being able to use any card I wanted to use. I didn't have to understand if it fit the mana restrictions, the mana rules or not. If it was a card I wanted to use, boom, throw it in my deck. Because has all mana possibilities. We're going to peek here. Okay. So we'll set that aside. Sword of Plowshares. If I have this card played on me 3 more times, I'm going to scream, because this card really is good at just destroying your commander for a couple turns, getting it off the field right when you were excited that you're able to cast your commander and maybe put some stuff on it. So yeah, I do have this card in one of my decks. I'll probably add it to another. I have here Trumpet Blast, and then Fumble, which Fumble, another one that I like better than it's really worth liking, but it's one that I try to work in and it never does quite make the cut. And then we've got here our uncommons. Alright, and our last rare. Virtus's Maneuver. For each player, choose friend or foe. Each friend returns a creature card from their graveyard to their hand. Each foe sacrifices a creature they control. Not a great card, but I mean, if you're doing two-headed dragon, that could, or two-headed giant, sorry, that could be a fun card. And like I said, this is really meant to be a set. That's the two-headed giant format. So, hey, that was very much worth my time and very much worth the money I spent on it. I'm excited to see about adding those things. I know there's no doubling seasons we got, but I'm very happy with what we did. Just to review some of the better ones we got a foil Magmatic Force. We have here, not a great one, but I'll use it. I am very excited about Arcane Artisan here. We have Arena Rector, which is probably the best value card we have as far as the money it's worth, and also the effect is great too. And we have a Mind's Eye, which I will use in any deck. And one that I've not ever gotten, but it looks like it'd be a perfect fit for a zombie tribal or something like it. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you next time.